guest of the evening, Jennette McCurdy. Jennette has graced the entertainment industry for the past 20
It's divided into little vignettes, if you will. This is vignette 71. To give you a little context, this is after my mom's died, and I have just started therapy with a woman named Laura, and I think that's all the context you need, hopefully. I catch a whiff of burning toast and dog piss, the unmistakable smell of my spray tan. I wonder if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson caught a whiff of it too. Even if he can smell it, he doesn't let on. Bless him. I'm standing backstage at some Teen Choice, People's Choice fan favorite award show. They all blur together, waiting for the commercial break to end and my segment to begin. I'm wearing overpriced heels with straps that dig into my ankles and a two-piece turquoise floral set, even though I don't like floral patterns. This is the outfit that was approved by the network, so this is what I'm wearing. The Netflix show hasn't yet been released, so I'm still only known for Nickelodeon stuff. They're still airing new episodes of Sam and Cat, so I'm still on the cover of all the tween magazines with a sassy hand on my hip and a bright smile on my face, portraying the image of a carefree starlet with the world on a string. Tee-hee. Even though I've been seeing Laura, my therapist, for a month, I feel worse off than I did when I initially sat in her tufted chair. Firstly, because Steven, this is an ex of mine, who is the reason I sat down in Laura's tufted chair in the first place, is out of town working on a show that shoots in Atlanta, so I'm unable to lean on him for support. And secondly, because now I'm aware of just how bleak things are. I'm no longer able to remain in denial about how much of a problem my alcohol consumption is, a big one, and my bulimia is, a bigger one. I'm no longer in denial about the extent of my grief over Mom's passing, insurmountable. The first 3 weeks of my program with Laura were all about gauging exactly where I'm at by collecting info, and so far, I don't like the info we've collected. I'm binging and purging 5 to 10 times a day, and drinking at least 8 or 9 shots of hard liquor a night. The first 3 weeks with Laura have shown me just how dark my situation is, just how much of a failure I've become. But now we're on week 4 of our 5 sessions a week schedule, and week 4 is the first week where, instead of just assessing how pathetic my day-to-day life really is, Laura starts to help me toward change. We've already identified my main binge, purge, and alcohol triggers, and red carpet events came in near the top of the list in all caps. Not only because of the stress and nature of the events themselves, but because red carpet events inevitably come with lots and lots of food. And lots of food means lots and lots of opportunities to binge and or purge. Because of this, Laura and I decided that for the next few months, Laura will be my +1 to all these events so she can monitor my behavior and serve as emotional and mental support. The lights are low. I can see the crowd. Laura's sitting in the front row. I make eye contact with her. Laura smiles and starts to mouth, "You've got this." But just as she gets to this, a mother trying to corral her fleet of young children scuttles past her. Laura makes an "excuse you" face until she realizes that the mother is Angelina Jolie. "Excuse you" face turns into "oh, you go right on ahead, you glorious angel" face. I try to meet Laura's eyes again, even for a quick second, before the lights come back on. I'm desperate for her support. I'm sure that I'm penetrating her soul with my desperation, but it doesn't matter. I've lost her to Angelina. Not that I can blame Laura, I do get it. The camera operator, Chip, I don't actually know his name, but there's a 90% chance that any given camera operator's name is Chip, starts giving me the 5-finger countdown. I swallow my nerves. The lights shock me when they come on. It doesn't matter how many random tween, teen, kid award shows I participate in, I never get used to the lights. They are blinding, and I'm amazed how more people on stage giving or accepting awards for things that don't matter don't squint while they're up here. I start talking, saying whatever's on the prompter with a big smile in my fun voice. I notice my hands are doing a lot of big gestures, but I can't seem to control them. The whole thing is an out-of-body experience. Nick Jonas waltzes out and accepts an award, and the lights are off again. I gasp for air like somebody coming up from holding their breath underwater for too long. I look down at my hands. I can't see them because my eyes haven't yet adjusted to the lights being off, but I don't need to see them to know that they're shaking. I'm approached by a security guard who carries himself like a man who takes his wings extra spicy just to prove a point. As I'm escorted to the backstage area, I feel little heat streams running down my cheeks. Shit, tears. Finally, when we get to the dingy backstage tunnel with fluorescent lighting, I can get a good look at my hands. They're shaking and clenched in little stiff balls. I don't need any more evidence than this. I'm having a panic attack, and I know exactly why I'm having one. I haven't thrown up all day. Laura only agreed to be my +1 if I would agree to meet up with her ahead of the event so that we could eat lunch together. Laura knew that my instinct would be to starve myself before the award show, which could then lead to a binge and purge later. She ordered a healthy lunch for us and sat there patiently while I picked at my food like a tantrumy 3-year-old. "I know you don't want to, but you need to eat. You can't go do something like this without having some food in your stomach." We sat there for nearly an hour, my food untouched, when the car pulled up to take us to the event. I pushed my seat back and stood up until Laura gave me no way eyes. I knew she wasn't getting in that Cadillac Escalade until I followed through on my end of the bargain. So I forced a few bites in my mouth. Laura encouraged me to take a few more, and we were off. The ride over to the pavilion was hell. I couldn't focus on anything except for the shame I felt about how much food I had consumed, the calories in that food, and the fact that I couldn't rid myself of it. All I wanted was a toilet, and all I got was 45 minutes in LA traffic with some adult contemporary slow jams on the radio. Laura's taste in music is questionable. You okay, ma'am? Not now, spicy wings. I'm in the middle of a discreet breakdown. I mutter some sort of half-word response, wipe my eyes, and push open the door to the backstage area. The first thing I see is, of course, the buffet table. The inevitable backstage buffet table, piled with crudité, olives, mini sausages, shrimp cocktails, mini grilled cheese sandwiches, popcorn chicken, and cheeseburger sliders. Fuck, cheeseburger fucking sliders. I'm dying to cram some meaty, cheesy sliders into my mouth and then throw them up in the bathroom. The act of purging gives me a rush of adrenaline, and it's so physically exhausting that I hardly have space for anxiety after I'm finished. I need the fix. But I know I shouldn't. That's why Laura's here. Laura, that's what I need. I need Laura. Where is Laura? I frantically scan the room. Manny from Modern Family chats with Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. Fergie talks to Kristen Stewart, who stands in the corner biting her nails. At the other end of the room, I spot Laura, beaming as she compliments Adam Sandler. It's clear she has a crush on him. Who doesn't? Shirtless Adam Sandler in the Shampoo is Better scene from Billy Madison was true porn for me as a child. I'm torn. Do I interrupt Laura's engaging discussion with America's favorite goofball/occasional indie darling to tell her I'm in the middle of a panic attack? Or do I rush over to the buffet table and stuff my face with a slew of snacks, then go throw them up in the bathroom? Do I get my fix? I beeline for the buffet table and don't even grab a plate. I double fist some cheeseburger sliders and start shoving them into my mouth. I turn my back so no one can see what I'm doing. I take bite after bite. I'm done with the first slider and halfway through the second one when I hear, I think it's great that you're eating. I would love it if you could slow down a little bit though. And I want to make sure we step away to a private area afterwards so that you can process your emotions without purging. How does that sound? My heart sinks. My cheeseburger slider does too. I feel it like a rock in my stomach. I know Laura means well, but in this moment I hate her. I hate that she's disrupting my ability to purge. You know what, why don't we just head out now? Laura suggests. She must have spotted the dried tear tracks on my cheeks, or my clenched hands, or she might just have such a good read on me that she knows how devastated I'll be at having to keep down the sliders. We pile into the car, and immediately I start to sob. The panic attack is in full force. It feels like death. No, not the sliders. Why did I eat the fucking sliders? I wail. I know, baby, Laura says affectionately. She strokes my hair. You're doing great. You're doing great. Really? Doesn't feel like I'm doing great. Feels like I'm in the middle of a full-fledged breakdown after white-knuckling my way through 3 teleprompter lines and not being able to cope with eating 2 rich people's White Castles. Laura assures me it's normal to have these types of reactions after not purging, since my body's been so used to the habit for so long, and the habit has been a source of emotional suppression for me. But it doesn't feel normal. My reaction feels humiliating, but impossible to curtail. I continue wailing. The driver looks ahead blankly. If this guy's not reacting to a hysterical bulimic who's getting orange spray tan on his freshly polished leather seats, I hate to think what else he's witnessed in the back of his Cadillac. Can you flip the radio to close to 103.5? Laura asks politely. The driver switches the radio. Gloria Estefan starts singing Rhythm Is Gonna Get You. Mom used to love Gloria Estefan, I sob, collapsing into Laura's lap. I notice her toe tapping. The rhythm did in fact get her. Jennette, Laura says, pausing to rub her lips together, which she does every time she feels like she's about to say something important. This is what recovery looks like. One of the more excruciating emotional disconnects for me is when someone says something they think is poignant and I receive it as complete bullshit. This is one of those disconnects. To make the disconnect even worse, Laura shuts her eyes and repeats to herself. No, Laura, please don't give me that dramatic pause for emphasis. Do not give me that dramatic, is what recovery looks like.
Thank you so much for that. I'm sure everyone appreciated to hear your words in your own voice, so thank you so much for that. And so this ends the piece with me. Now I'm going to transition over to what you all want to hear too. So I'm going to have Dina and Hannah come over for the student.
But this next question is personally one of my favorites asked.
Oh, a Disneyland pass. They call it magic keys now, and it's like my magic key ran out, and I called like a week later, and I was like, hey, so I'm in my 30 days, right? I can renew it. They're like, you needed to call the 30 days beforehand. I was like, is there anything I can do? I will sell my soul for a Disneyland pass. They're like, no, we're so sorry. And then it was just like, will you rate this call? And it's like the fairy godmother singing in the background.
I'm glad we were able to get your question answered. So this question is asked by James Jacoby, which is, are you a morning person or a night person?
James? Night person. I hate mornings. I'm awful at them. I actually have to wake up at like 3 in the morning for a flight, and it's going to be, I'm a nightmare. How about you? Same way? Great. Yeah. There you go.
Thank you, James, for your question. Okay, our next question is asked by Allegra Sky.
Allegra.
Okay, awesome.
Hello.
The question is, I'm a huge fan of your podcast, Empty Inside. What inspired you to start the podcast? What was your overall goal with the podcast?
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed listening to it. I had been wanting to do a podcast for a while. I really liked the format. I liked WTF, Mark Maron's podcast. I liked Pete Holmes' podcast, who made it weird. And I'd been listening to those for years and years and years, and I just thought it seemed kind of fun to do. I also felt like I liked the conversations that came out when it was just that one-on-one dynamic. I'm not great in groups. When there's more than one person, I feel like that I don't really know what to do socially in those environments, or it's a little bit more of a struggle for me. Whereas one-on-one, I feel like I like the nature of those conversations, and I also thought it'd be a nice way to connect with people. I did it over COVID. I did it for like a year and a half over COVID, and I thought it'd be a nice way of meeting new people, connecting with people while there's no way to sort of connect with them actually face to face. And I did make some great friends from it and met some cool people.
Awesome, and thank you, Allegra, for your question. We're going to move on to what I consider to be an important question, which comes from Kirsten Leminicio.
I feel like the morning and night question is pretty important.
I agree. This one is, what are your favorite forms of self-care?
Ooh, I love this because I feel like the only thing we ever see is like for self-care is like to light a candle, to draw a bath. Like there's like one other one, maybe say some affirmations or something. I think boundaries are the number one, first and foremost, most helpful piece of self-care that I've ever learned, that I have ever implemented. If I didn't know what boundaries were, I didn't know how to implement them. When my therapist first suggested it to me, like it seemed very. Is the screen okay? Is it your phone? Okay, good. I'm relieved. I feel like collectively, it's like the whole room just. I didn't know what a boundary was. I didn't know. It was kind of elusive to me. I felt like I had very black and white extreme boundaries. It was either like I'll never talk to this person again, or they're my best friend. Like there was no kind of in between. So I read a bunch of books on boundaries. I would say that's really helpful for self-care. I'm inclined to say boundaries. Oh, and inner child work. I think that's really, really good and important work. I actually, for the first couple months of the year, I would like journal just as me as a kid. And I feel like that's where, we were kind of talking about this earlier, but that's where a lot of the shit happens, where the dysfunction, it's where all the unhealthy coping mechanisms start, it's where all the behavioral patterns start. It's always that childhood stuff, and I think that doing that inner child healing is so important, and being there for the inner child is important. I know it was such a woo-woo therapy concept when my therapist first told it to me. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, but then I feel like it's the things that I've been most resistant to or hesitant toward in therapy have often been the most beneficial in the long term. So I think boundaries and inner child work are the best self-care strategies for me.
Thank you, Kristen, for your question. Our next question is asked by Alice Perrios, which is, how did you develop your modern fashion taste? Because side note, you look amazing today.
Thank you. That's so nice. It actually changed a lot. I've actually been touching this a lot because I want this zipper to like be on the outside of this thing. So the entire time I've been trying to control how this looks. It changed a lot for me in eating disorder recovery. If any of you guys are in recovery, I'm curious as for how this has played out for you. But I used to dress a lot first off, people were dictating what I wore. Networks are literally looking at photos, and grown men in their 40s and 50s are deciding what 14-year-olds should wear. So that's its own book. But all those decisions were made by other people, and then once I was dealing with the eating disorder stuff, I felt like I was either dressing, when I did dress for myself, it was to cover an insecurity, it was to hide something that I didn't like about myself, it was to portray a version of myself that I thought would be appealing to somebody else. Like, it was always for somebody else. And then since recovering from eating disorders, I've dressed just for myself, and it's a completely different process. It's an experience of joy, not one of stress, not one of like, fuck, I don't know what to do, that panicky feeling. It's not that anymore. It's fun. I enjoy it. And let's see. I'm trying to think if there's. I think that's the core of it for me. That's where it stems from. But I know, for the whole press tour, I knew that I wanted my body very clothed. I didn't want to be in any way. It was not I didn't want it to be an opportunity for people to make comments on my body. I wanted it to be about the things that I was saying, and I wanted to dress in ways that satisfied me and were not to please, whomever.
Yeah, I get that.
Thank you, Alice, for your question, and thank you, Jennette, for your response. Our next question is going to come from Nidhi Pawar. How has writing your book changed your outlook on dealing with your day-to-day life?
It's changed it completely. The day-to-day of my life looks very different now. I think, literally as a reaction to kind of the book. I'm now, I'm able to write for a living. I'm able to be working on this novel. I'm so grateful to be doing what I've always wanted to do, what I've always felt drawn to, and to be able to do it is like it's just the greatest. Like, I really hope if you guys have a thing that you feel like, I really want to do this, I hope that you disregard if your parents are saying to do something else, if your friends are like, oh, but you're so good at something, but you just know there's something that you should be doing. I hope that you just hold that close and that you pursue that thing relentlessly. Do whatever it takes to learn as much as you can about it. I just hope that you all get to do what you want, because I think that level of connectedness is so important to a fulfilling life. I can't imagine, oh my God, if I was still acting, I'd be so distraught. It'd be like if I was on some sitcom, slipping over a carpet, or bringing food, just being like dinner to the man character. It'd be a disaster.
Thank you so much, Nidhi, for your question. Our next question is asked by Valerie Lopez. What kind of books do you want to write? What authors have inspired you?
Tom Perrotta, I love. He is one of my favorite authors. I recently read 3 Women by Lisa Taddeo. Have any of you read that? Who was that in the plan? Who was that?
I didn't yell, but I raised my hand. It's so good. It's a good novel.
It's great, right? It's so good. I'm so glad you read it.
Y'all came from over there. That was not me. I know very differently. I'm not
So the 2 of you have read it? Yeah. Okay, very cool. Did you like it also?
I loved it.
It was amazing, right?
Yes.
So now I want to do the rest of your book recommendations, since we have similar taste here. But we'll talk later. I Tom Perrotta, and then I'm trying to. I just read a novel called Everyone or Everybody Knows How Much I Love You, and it's about a really complicated female friendship, and that was really, really good. And I want to read more by that author, but I think it's her debut. I don't think she's written anything else yet. Yeah.
Thank you, Valerie, for your question. Our next one is going to be, out of all the short films you created, which one was the one you spent the most time filming? And this one comes from JP Archangel.
JP. Let's see. Okay, I spent. Well, it's so tricky because it's hard to measure time, especially anything with film and TV. I feel just because it takes so long for anything to happen. So the writing. Let's see. I wrote one short that I probably wrote it in a couple weeks, and then was probably in pre-production for a month. for 4 days, and then was in post-production for probably 2 months. But that's not, I didn't release that one publicly or anything, but that was how long it took to do the short. And then, for features, it's like a year of writing, I would say. Just writing, and I haven't shot any yet, so I can't answer. I don't know the rest of what's on the other end of this.
All right, thank you, JP, for your question. Our next question is asked by Kezia Sharia. What is your favorite ice cream?
Cookies and cream. You're shaking your head no. What do you like? Mint chip. Mint chip's good. The other chip was his favorite.
Yeah. Thank you, Kezia.
Rocky Road. What are the other ones? Rocky Road. Pistachio. Rainbow sherbet. Oh, chocolate chip cookie dough. Cookies and cream. I think a little more enthusiasm chocolate chip cookie dough. I feel like it lingered longer. Okay, I just had to know.
Might have been my favorite question so far. So thank you, Kezia, for your question. This next one comes from Adrian Lee. What is your go-to song at the moment?
Go-to song at the moment. I love an artist named Sabrina Carpenter. And she has a song that is unreleased called Wife. It's a good song. And they have there's somebody who posted it on YouTube where it's like it replays just that song for an hour. I have listened to the entire YouTube video where it's just replaying the song for an hour. I love it. It makes me feel good and happy.
Sounds like me with emails I can't send. What's that? Emails I can't send.
Yes. Yeah. It's so good.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask our final question for tonight, which is asked by Jocelyn Escobar. And this one is, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
My mind goes to a couple of different places. So sort of a friend of a friend. I feel like I know I'm gonna be on the way home like kicking myself because I'm not happy with this answer. But it's the first thing that's coming to mind, and in the spirit of not keeping everyone waiting while I find it. It's sort of to keep your eyes on your paper, stay in your lane, as it were. But it's sort of a thing that my friend group, who some of them are writers, they talk about, just sort of eyes on your paper, and I think that's really useful and helpful. I think obviously comparison's easy and very unhelpful, and eyes on your paper is, I think, the way to go, and I guess particularly applicable if you're a writer. Hope it can make a leap if you're not. Eyes on your construction work if you're a construction worker.
All right, thank you so much.
Jennette McCurdy, can I take a picture with you?
Hey everyone, just a reminder to be respectful.
Somebody's shaking their head now, but I will say, can I take a picture with you? Can I do a group